Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear audience, welcome to a new episode. We are still discussing the same topic that had been discussed in the previous episode, which is the effective use of resources. We ended up talking about the data show projector connected with the computer. What else can we use it for? Yes, in languages, for example, in story writing, you can use the video clip without sound and let the students imagine what is happening. Like, for example, a situation like this, someone is talking and let them imagine. Is he a lawyer? Is he a judge? Is he a teacher? Give them a couple of seconds or 5 seconds. Give them a whole story to see. Whole story. For example, half an hour. But what is good about these things is that don't overuse them. 5 minutes watching it, and then they have to do something else. 5 minutes is considered too long. 2 minutes and starting commenting and sharing your ideas is very... You go to sometimes in classroom, our teachers used to do this, and they would play the movie Al-Risala, and all of us are sleeping. You know. We've seen it 200 times at that time, okay? But we're still enjoying it because it's much better than the teacher, right? Because it has some sort of animation. The way to benefit from it is to show 5 minutes and to start the discussion, talking about it, critiquing. What do you think? Why are they wearing like this? Why is this scene has such elements in it? Do you think this will happen after 5 minutes or something like that? Some sort of questions to let them think. So when they start seeing again the second part of it, they would have more focus. So you should know how to use it. It's not just showing the thing. And there are many books, by the way, written about this. How to use videos in your class, how to use them effectively in language class, in history class. So we need to get used to this. Okay, what else would you add? There will be a time that perhaps some people are not in schools, they are not using the textbook. It's very, very cheap to reproduce and to make some changes on a CD or a program, computer program, than to make it on a textbook. It becomes very expensive to make slight changes on a textbook. And I was pushing the schools that are specialized in teaching Arabic for non-Arabs towards this direction. But it seems that it would take them 20 years to wake up from the state that they are in. In a program like, for example, Rosetta Stone. Are you aware of Rosetta Stone? It teaches many languages, by the way. There's another program, it's called Tell Me More. Tell Me More. Yeah, it teaches also Arabic and teaches English. It's for example, I would say it's $200. But the effect of it, the impact of it is much, much, much more the books. Remember in the past, the books didn't have any other thing that would support them. And then we had the audio tapes, and then we had the MP3, and then we had these CDs. This program is so well done that when you learn by yourself, you feel that you are in actual life. You need to think, you are challenged, you have to speak, you have an answer, you have a question and you have to answer, and your answer is recorded, and you can see how accurate your pronunciation is, and you can repeat it again. This can never be done, right, in a classroom, in a textbook. It needs a teacher. Now you are saving the price of a teacher, right? You are saving a teacher. So I encourage you really to use these resources. When we were in America, there's one organization, Islamic organization, produced a very famous program. I'm quite sure that you know it. It's called Reciter, that teaches Quran. Reciter, R-E-C-I-T-E-R. It's called in Arabic Al-Murattil. Yes, it is true that the use of data show projector, when it is connected with the internet, it becomes a very powerful tool. Okay, and I think there was a comment here. Would you like to continue commenting?
Yes, Sheikh. I was just saying that it would be good, inshallah, through this we can have connection with the other online with students from other schools.
Yes.
We can have a good discussion, quiz, and all online quiz and all such
Yes,
things.
you can make a discussion between two schools, video conferencing or, yes, audio conferencing. So you'd be communicating with a school in France, for example, The students there are discussing with your students something, and you would come up with, or you benefit from the viewpoints of the teacher there, or you benefit them. This is wonderful. Again, in addition to this, I said that there is, use it as, every school now has a website. And when you are connected with it, you can get a lot of information about the school. Even it doesn't require from you to meet the principal in order to know the school is good or not. Just by going through the website and examine it well, you can get an idea whether it's a good school or not a good school. Not by the colors that they use in the website, but by the services that they produce. One of the simple services that's produced now is the results of the students' exam. Get an exam. They used to send, and by the way, let me tell you that a lot of people think that the use of technology is expensive. This is not true. Just try to imagine that if you have an internet and you have a connected website, just one in school, and parents can access you, and you send a report every week, for example, to the parents, you're not going to do that. It saves you all this money that's spent in the mail and on the paper, right? You just have it on the internet, on the website, and everybody else accesses it. It saves time and it saves money. The use of technology is no longer expensive. It's not. It's cheaper than other things. Okay, so there are many other things that you can add. Can I hear something from you? Still, we are talking about the internet.
Not actually about internet, but you just spoke about the limitations of the
Yeah.
books. And in case if you want to correct the book, it's kind of a big process
Yes.
compared to what you use in the programs.
Yeah.
This just reminded me about your book. You have written about Salah, A to Z of Salah. Along with the book, you have the CD.
Yeah.
Along with it. I don't know whether it's a data CD or the audio video.
No, it's audio video.
Audio.
It's a
So what
video.
was the reason, like combining the print media with the audio video media?
The reason is that when you see a picture, the picture has still picture. But in a CD, you have a moving picture. So you know exactly what happens. See what I'm saying? For example, a person who's making takbir, he's making ruku', right? Allahu Akbar. In the picture, you see him doing this, and then you see him doing this. You don't see the actual movement. Do you see, Aumeh? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So it definitely adds some dimension to this. Not only that, it's interactive. You do this. Suppose that you don't want to go through the linear approach. You want to jump from here to there. You just push a button, and it takes you to this one. Okay. So it's interactive. It's something that, okay. In the book, you don't hear a person saying Allahu Akbar, right? In the interactive program, you have the opportunity to listen to Allahu Akbar or Sami Allahu liman hamdah too many times. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Take Sami Allahu liman hamida. Take Sami Allahu liman hamida. Take Sami Allah, and so on and so forth. So it gives you opportunity to distinguish what you have, particularly for the new Muslims. And this reminded me of the program that I told you. It's called Reciter. When this was produced and they asked me for my comment, I said that this program equals the effort of 5,000 teachers of Quran. This was my humble comment. It's so amazing. It saves the teachers a lot of time. I said that you can take it. Listen, how do we teach Quran? We just repeat, and the students repeat, and they repeat, and they repeat. So who is the loser here? Who is the loser? The teacher. Try to imagine that from this class to this class to this class, by the end of the day, he's about to die. It is true. This website, yes, or this, now it is on a website called reciter.org. I think you can access it. And I still remember that it is free. I will talk about it, inshallah, after we take a break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Now, welcome back after the break. We were talking about reciter.com or reciter.org, if I'm not mistaken. You can buy it. They used to sell it for $10. So now I think it's perhaps much less than this. The beauty of it, it saves the teacher the time, and at the same time, it gives him the opportunity to observe students' pronunciation. So every student is working on it, right? Each student by himself. Let's imagine that we are in a lab, computer lab. Each student is working on his own machine at his own pace. This is one thing. In the classroom, not everybody is capable of doing it, right? because all of them have to follow the teacher. And the teacher would move from one student into another to see his performance and to correct his performance. And as you know that, you can modify it. Let's say that I want to listen to Surah Al-Fatiha, and I want to listen to whole surah 5 times. Let's say 2 times. But I want to hear each ayah, let's say 7 times, just to fix it, right? 7, and it plays for you. A student is better than another student. I don't need 7 times. I need it only 3 times. So another student would fix it on 3 times. You see? Student would say that, okay, I want to listen first, so I want the repetition to be no time between them. The other one would say that, okay, I listened to it enough. Now I am in a stage of repeating. So between every 2 repetition, I want 5 seconds so that I can repeat. So you can do this. Very simple techniques, but amazing. And this is a real representation of differentiation. Each student can go according to his own pace, right? Because you can fix it, right? It's very simple to fix it. And also it's connected with translation. It's connected with, many other features are in it. And this was 12 years ago now. There should be something much, much more than this. And all of them are free. So if you know what is in the market, you save a lot of your effort. You sit and you become a supervisor. You don't do the job that I'm doing now, talking most of the time. Every 5 minutes, a cup of tea for me or a cup of water. You save all this money because of the use of technology. Yes, I'm serious. The use of technology makes things cheaper. Yes, it's not as we imagine. And I encourage you, if you have money, invest it in technology for your children. It gives a lot of information. And you can see the difference between our children and us. They know much, much, much more things about us. Even some of them even make more money than we make from home. They know how to get the money, they have easy money. So there are many benefits in this. And I want you to explore before you start doing this. I want you to make research on how to use every resource to get the best of it. The internet would give you don't need to buy books. Everything is there. You can learn, just you need the time to do that. And also you can benefit from your students if you're dealing with adult students, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, you can benefit from them. And one time we got a course with a professor in the university, and he said, okay, part of the assignment is that we have to write a research. And the doctor said that it's your option to write a research of your own, whatever you like, or to work with me. He's working on a big project, got a couple of $1 million for the project, yes. And he said that you work with me. I'll give you part of the project to work on it, but you will not get any money from me. He took all the money, of course. Yeah. And of course, he has the right to do it because I have to write a research paper to pass. So it's either, he gave me the option, either to write my own research paper or to be involved in a whole project, a big project, to be part of it. Definitely, I prefer this one because this will be more beneficial for humans than if you work by yourself. In both cases, I'm not going to get any money, but at least I get reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this intention. So anyway, there are lots of opportunities on the internet, and I hope you benefit from this, how to use this. Now let's go back to the rationale of using these resources or these audiovisual. Is it clear for us now that there is a link between differentiation and between the use of technology? Because each one has different learning style. His style in learning is different from another student. And in this way, you can address many different styles. And I advise you to vary. Sometimes you use pictures, sometimes you use maps, sometimes you use puzzles, sometimes you use games, sometimes use whatever is available to have this variety to make it. One of the worst things that in classes like this, in general, is they are boring. If you remember that there's a great scholar, his name is Ibn Abd al-Barr. He said that knowledge is bitter. In other words, knowledge is ugly. It's not something sweet that you taste it. It's not something sweet. It is. You feel bored. You got tired of it. So, although we get every 5 minutes a cup of tea, but it's still, we are not enjoying it. He said that one problem of knowledge is that you give it all and it gives you little. You give it all your time, but finally at the end it gives you little information. It doesn't give you everything. You see what I'm saying? You spend all your life learning, and at the end of your life, you see if you try to measure the amount of knowledge that you have, it's perhaps as this is. And you gave it all your life. This is the nature of knowledge. And for children, it becomes very difficult if they sit like this. Yes, he used to label one student, he doesn't know how to sit down. Just every 2 minutes he would leave. It's just his nature. Perhaps the only way is to tie him on the chair. Yeah, it's boring. Knowledge is boring. That's why it's very significant to use these tools and these resources in order to make the course live, right? And again, you don't know how to use computers well. I'm quite sure that the students in your class, they know better, much better than you. So they would help you. Okay, the limitation is that don't trust technology. You go to a lesson, you prepare yourself that you are going to use it, and you don't find internet access. You find a computer problem. Yeah. So in your lesson plan, when you say that I'm going to use the computer / backing up, you have to say a backup. What's your backup policy? In case it happens many times, and it becomes very embarrassing, particularly if you give a lecture to 5,000 people and the computer doesn't work and you don't know what you do. You have all the time be ready that you can live without computers. Okay, can you think of other limitations?
This is especially for the Islamic schools or for anyone. But I just wanted to know there are sometimes such information given on internet that is un-Islamic.
Yes, this is another danger, particularly for those who are not specialized. You may access some information that's not correct and you don't have a way to distinguish them. That's why I ask each of you, I think there are websites that tells you the good websites. So if you want to take your information, take it from these websites. Instead of going directly to Google, you go to these websites, even the questions and answers. You don't ask a question to Google. You ask it to a website. You know this website is authentic, right? But don't be deceived by the names, because people change their names. For example, people who are not Ahl Sunnah, they would make their website called Ahl Sunnah. You don't see them, you don't know them. They just to deceive you, they label it Ahl Sunnah, right? And sometimes another website's called Ahl Sunnah, so they would call Ahl Sunnah 1. So they have many tricks. You have to be sure that the knowledge that you get is authentic. Yeah, and the easiest way is to know, yes, some websites that you trust. Otherwise, you have to develop this knowledge. Otherwise, you have to ask another person. So this is one of the easiest ways. This is a very important limitation nowadays, especially when we're dealing about Islamic law. Jamil, what else? Another limitation? No limitations. Tell me, what are you going to do next week if you don't have any limitation? Tell me, what are you going to do next week? Not a dream. I hope that you lived it. Okay, say.
No, this was regarding a limitation.
Limitation again.
Yes.
Okay.
As you have said before, that if it's not properly planned, it can get distracting and can bore the students.
Yes. Yeah, it's not. We are not using these resources for the purpose of using them. We are using them to help us achieve an objective. Yes.
It can get as an addiction.
An addiction. Okay, that's why I said that it's very important. Don't use the internet every day because it may take you to addiction, right? So try to make a variety. Today I'm going to use the map because the lesson, yes, requires me to use the map. You can use the map, you can use the internet to avoid addiction, so you use the map, right? Another, let's see now, what are you going to do next week? Tell me, if you teach reading, how are you going to use the library, or how are you going to use internet? Think of a solid example, practical example. There's a very famous joke about this politeness. It's not a joke, it's a story that had been told to us by Dr. Jafar Idris. There's a dispute between a husband and wife. Yes, and the husband is a very eloquent speaker. So it seems that his wife doesn't pay him attention. He thinks that he deserves to get more from her. So he just wanted to prove to her that he is something. So he took her to one of the lectures, and She saw that the audience, few thousand people. And then when on the way back, he asked her, what is your opinion? She said she was still upset with him. She said that everybody in the hall was polite. You were the only one who was speaking, meaning that you were the only one who is impolite. Even the good thing in him, she didn't see the good thing in him. So he failed to do that. Anyway, go ahead. Yes, please.
This is regarding Sirah of the Prophet, may peace be upon him. So you can have a tree structure.
What we can have.
I will have.
I am going to do this, inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah, I'll have a tree, a family tree without the names of the people. And then I will have all the names that are supposed to be coming in the tree all in jumbled form. So I can ask the students to come and place the names where they're supposed to be from that jumbled lot in the proper place. You can call the students interactively on the net. He can come and do it on the laptop, and the entire class can correct him if he's wrong.
That's good. Jazakallah khair. I hope you do it. Yes.
This is a geography class for grade 7, wherein there's a chapter of coffee plantations, a case study. What I could do is, I cannot take my students maybe to Brazil to show the coffee plantations, but show them a documentary which actually shows how everything is going on, the coffee plantations.
Yes, by the way, this is one of the treasures in the internet, is documentaries. Give you a lot of things, yes, a lot of good information, authentic information for free. Yes. Any other thing that, let me hear a comment about just this issue, the effective use of resources. If you have any comment that we'll end up with, comment. Not a promise, not a pledge. No comments. Very obedient students. Okay, I hope you have benefited from this, and I hope you can see, you can link it with the other things that we learned of how to make our teaching effective. This is very clear that it helps you also to make the classroom interactive, right? It helps you to do many other things. It connects with many other things. Jazakumullahu khairan. I hope you benefited. And inshallah, next time we'll get another topic. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Hush, little baby, pure and small. He created you, he created us all. Hush, little baby, don't you fear? We're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm. He'll protect us all.